Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be diving deep into WealthNavi,
Huh?
a pretty prominent robo-advisor here in
Yeah.
Japan.
Right, yeah.
And we've got a whole stack of investor relations documents.
Okay.
I think it'll be pretty interesting to unpack it all and see
Yeah.
what we can learn about them.
For sure. I think these documents, they're fascinating
Yeah.
because you really get to see kind of like the behind the scenes of the
Right.
company. Like, how do they see themselves?
Yeah.
Where are they going? What are they doing?
And they got to be honest, too, because it's investor relations.
Exactly. It's not just marketing hype.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start with, like, the basics.
Okay, sure.
Like, they present themselves as this robo-advisor that's
Yeah.
helping working families build towards a comfortable retirement.
Right.
But they go beyond just,
Yeah.
basic investing.
Absolutely. It's like they handle everything. They've got the whole package from setting investment goals to asset allocation to actually executing the trades, reinvesting dividends, rebalancing,
Wow.
even tax loss harvesting.
That's a lot.
It's designed to be hands-off.
Okay.
They're trying to take all that
Right.
complexity out of investing.
Especially for people who don't have the time to be
Exactly.
day trading and all this stuff.
Yeah, if you're a busy working family, you don't have time to be,
Right.
researching individual stocks and bonds.
So are they focusing on like domestic investments, or are they going like...
Well, that's the interesting thing. They actually have a really global reach
Okay.
with their investment strategy.
Interesting.
They're talking about investments diversified across thousands of securities
Wow.
in dozens of countries. So we're not just talking about Japan here.
Oh, wow.
We're talking global diversification.
And are they using like their own in-house?
So they primarily utilize ETFs,
Okay.
which are exchange-traded funds from really well-known providers. Like,
Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, big names.
Yeah, so they're not just like picking
No, they're not
just as
picking.
random.
They're going with
Big-
the established players.
Yeah.
And that provides a level of, comfort as well, because you're not...
Especially for a novice investor, I think that would be reassuring.
Absolutely. And these ETFs are designed to track
Yeah.
particular market indexes or sectors.
Yeah.
So it's a way to get broad exposure without having to pick individual stocks.
So it sounds like they're really trying to mitigate risk through that diversification.
It seems that way, yeah.
But what about the cost?
Right.
Because sometimes, you get into these robo-advisors and it's like, oh, there's all these hidden fees and all this stuff.
Yeah, and to be fair, that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
With any financial product, you want to,
Right.
really scrutinize the fee structure. But with WealthNavi, they try to keep it
Okay.
pretty straightforward.
So what is it?
It's a simple 1% annual fee.
Based on your assets under management.
Okay.
And that excludes tax.
Okay.
But the key is no hidden commissions.
So it's just that flat 1%?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
pretty transparent, at least.
that's good to know.
Especially in the financial world. It's not always so clear-cut.
Okay, so 1%.
1%
Annual fee.
annual fee based on your assets under management.
Okay, and is there like a minimum amount that you have to...
That's another thing that's interesting about them is that
Yeah.
they have a pretty low minimum investment threshold.
Oh, so it's not just like for the super wealthy.
Exactly. It's designed to be accessible.
Okay.
And I think that aligns with their target demographic of working families.
Mhm.
Maybe you don't have a huge lump sum to invest right away.
Right.
But you can start with a smaller amount and,
Get started.
and grow from there.
So what is that minimum?
It's only 10,000 yen.
Oh, wow.
That's very accessible.
Yeah.
I mean, almost anyone can
Pretty much anyone can do
Pretty
it.
much anyone can do that. Scrape together 10,000 yen to get started.
Yeah.
So they're really trying to lower the barrier to entry for investing.
Okay, so 10,000 yen to get in the door,
Yep,
1% annual fee.
that's right.
Okay.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. But that's all, on paper.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, it sounds good.
right.
But how are they actually performing?
Right. Well, that's where it gets really interesting because
Right.
even during times of serious market volatility, like
Yeah.
we saw during the COVID-19 pandemic,
Right?
WealthNavi's has managed to maintain
Okay.
pretty impressive annualized returns.
So they weathered the storm pretty well.
They did. And,
Okay.
that's not a guarantee of future returns.
Right, of course.
But it does show that their investment strategy is at least somewhat resilient.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's encouraging is that they're constantly adding new features
Okay.
and improving the user experience. So,
They're not just sitting still.
Exactly.
Okay.
They're not resting on their laurels.
They're constantly innovating, and that's a really good sign.
All right, so they're staying ahead of the curve in terms of like technology
Yeah,
and innovation,
it seems that way.
which is great because I feel like that's so important these days.
It is, especially in the world of fintech.
Yeah,
Things are changing so rapidly.
right.
You got to stay ahead of the curve or you're going to get left behind.
Okay, so they're staying ahead of the curve. They're performing well. What about
Yep.
the users happy?
Well, that's another really positive sign.
Okay.
They boast a 93% user satisfaction rate.
Wow, that's high.
That is very high,
Yeah.
especially when you compare it to other industries.
Yeah.
Like you think about mobile phone carriers or you think about,
Yeah.
financial services in general.
Yeah, those are not known for their...
Those are not exactly known for their stellar customer service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 93% is really impressive.
It really is.
So what do you think is contributing to that?
Well, I think there are probably a few factors at play.
First of all, the platform is designed to be really easy to use.
Okay.
We talked about the automation
Yeah.
and the hands-off approach, so that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
Second, we just talked about the performance they are delivering.
Right.
Pretty impressive returns even during times of volatility.
Yeah.
And then third, I think the transparency of the fee structure.
Yeah.
That probably goes a long way.
It's not a mystery.
It's not a mystery.
Yeah, you know exactly what you're paying.
You know exactly what you're getting into.
Okay.
And I think people appreciate that.
So it's the ease of use, good performance, transparent pricing.
And I think also they're very proactive in terms of communication,
Okay.
keeping users informed through regular updates, offering support.
Okay, so they're not just like, here's the platform.
Exactly.
Good luck, figure it out.
Yeah, you're not left on your own.
Okay, good. So they're holding your hand through the process,
Yeah, they're trying to make it a more...
which can be scary for people,
Absolutely.
especially for first-time investors.
Yeah. Investing can be intimidating,
Yeah.
especially if you're not familiar with the terminology and
Yeah.
all the jargon.
Okay, so good communication, good support.
Yeah.
So far, so good. Sounds like a pretty solid
It's painting a pretty positive picture.
platform so far.
But
So let's talk about the new NISA program,
okay.
because that's been a big change here in Japan.
It has been.
And I'm curious how they've integrated that into their platform,
So that's actually...
because it can be confusing for people.
It can be very confusing.
Yeah.
And I think WealthNavi has actually done a really clever thing here
Okay.
by essentially helping users maximize those NISA benefits.
Okay. So just as a reminder for our listeners, what is NISA?
So NISA stands for Nippon Individual Savings Account.
Okay.
And it's basically a program
Yeah.
that allows you to invest
Right.
a certain amount of money each year,
Yeah.
tax-free.
Right. So it's a great way to
It's a huge incentive,
build long-term wealth,
especially for long-term investing.
right? And the rules changed this year.
They changed quite a bit
Yeah.
at the beginning of the year.
So how has WealthNavi adapted to that?
Yeah, so they've designed their platform to help you manage both the what they call installment allowance and the growth allowance
Yep.
within a new NISA account.
Okay. So explain that a little bit.
Sure. So the installment allowance, that's basically
Yeah.
the amount of money that you can contribute
Yeah.
each year
Right.
and invest tax-free. And then the growth allowance is like,
Oh, yeah.
once you've invested that money,
Right.
any growth on those investments is also tax-free
Right. Up to a certain limit.
up to a certain limit.
Yeah.
And WealthNavi handles all of that for you automatically.
Okay. So they take care of all the...
All the complicated calculations
Yeah.
and making sure you're staying within those limits.
Okay. And this is all within their platform?
All within their platform.
Okay. So you don't have to like go to a separate NISA account.
No, it's all integrated,
Okay.
which is really convenient.
That's fantastic. And
Yeah.
they've also lowered their fees for new NISA users.
They have.
So they're really trying to incentivize people to take advantage of this.
Absolutely. It's like a win-win.
Yeah.
You get the tax benefits and you get a lower fee.
Right.
So it's a really smart move on their part.
It seems like
It
it.
really aligns with their...
It's a good business decision.
Yeah, it's a good business decision. And it also aligns with
Yeah.
their mission of helping working families build long-term wealth.
Okay. So they're putting their money where their mouth is.
They are.
Okay. So they're
So far.
embracing NISA. They've integrated it into their platform.
Yeah.
They're incentivizing people to use it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, good.
No.
Let's talk about their recent alliance with MUFG Bank,
Okay.
because that seems like a pretty
That's a big one.
significant partnership. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting, I think, because
Okay.
MUFG Bank is not just a partner. They've actually become the second largest shareholder in WealthNavi.
Wow.
So it's
That's
a
a big commitment.
it's a significant investment.
Yeah.
And they're working together to promote WealthNavi's services to MUFG's massive customer base.
Right, because MUFG is now...
MUFG is the largest bank in Japan.
Right, they've got branches everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's a potential game changer for WealthNavi's reach.
Okay, so they've got this huge distribution network now.
Exactly.
Through MUFG.
And they're not just stopping at promotion.
Okay.
They're also co-developing this thing called a money advisory platform.
Okay, what is that?
So it's essentially designed to be like a one-stop shop for all things personal finance.
Okay, so beyond just investing?
Beyond just investing, so it's going to combine WealthNavi's expertise in robo-advisory with MUFG's extensive network of, financial services.
Right.
So you can imagine they'll have everything from, basic banking to loans to insurance.
Wow, so it's a comprehensive...
It's a comprehensive...
financial platform.
Yeah, they're really aiming to be your one-stop shop for all your financial needs.
And this is all still in development, or is this like...
It's still in development,
okay,
but they've announced it, and they're actively working on it.
So it's coming soon.
Yeah, so I think it's something to keep an eye on because it could have a pretty significant impact on the financial landscape here.
Right, because then it's like taking on the traditional financial advisors.
It's potentially disrupting the traditional models of financial advice.
Interesting. Okay, so they're not content with just being a robo-advisor.
No.
They're aiming to be like this.
A much bigger player.
Yeah.
There's more comprehensive...
full-service...
financial platform.
Financial platform.
Oh.
Okay. And it seems like they've already started expanding
their
offerings because they launched an insurance advisory service.
That's right.
Recently.
Another piece of that puzzle.
And that's actually live right now.
That is live.
Okay, so you can go to WealthNavi and get insurance advice.
Insurance advice.
Interesting. And how does that work?
So essentially, they help you navigate the often complex world of life insurance.
Okay.
So they're not actually selling you the insurance policies themselves.
Okay.
But they're helping you understand.
So they're not like an insurance broker?
They're not a broker.
Okay.
They're more like an advisor.
Okay.
Helping you understand what type of coverage you need.
Right.
How much you need.
And which policies are.
And then they help you compare.
Okay.
Different policies from different providers.
Okay, so they're like an insurance comparison site?
Yeah, there's an element of that.
Okay.
But they also take into account your overall financial situation.
Oh.
So it's not just about getting the cheapest policy. It's about getting the right policy.
Right, that fits your needs.
For your needs.
And your goals.
As part of a broader financial plan.
So it's all integrated with their investing advice as well.
It's all part of that holistic.
Okay, that's interesting. So they're really trying to take a
more holistic approach.
Yeah, like a 360-degree view of your...
your financial life.
Financial life.
And I think that's...
Instead of just like, here's our investment product.
Right.
Good luck.
It's more about understanding your needs and your goals and then helping you achieve them.
Through various means.
Through a variety of financial products and services.
That's a pretty good place to...
Yeah, I think we've covered a lot of ground.
Wrap up this first part.
Yeah. We've got a lot more to unpack.
Yeah.
But we'll save that for next time.
All right, so we'll be back soon with part 2 of our deep dive into WealthNavi. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It definitely feels like they're trying to build this really comprehensive suite of financial products and services.
Okay, so insurance is live.
And they also have this partnership with Rakuten.
Oh, right.
Have you heard of that?
I've heard of Rakuten.
Yeah, so they have this...
The big online retailer.
Yeah, that's right. Big online marketplace.
Yeah.
And they have a financial arm as well. Rakuten Securities.
Oh, I see.
And so WealthNavi has partnered with them to create WealthNavi R.
Oh, WealthNavi R.
That's their branding for it.
Okay.
And essentially, it allows Rakuten Securities users to access WealthNavi services.
Oh, so it's like...
directly through their Rakuten accounts.
Yeah, like a white label kind of?
Kind of, yeah. It's a way for WealthNavi to...
expand their reach.
Tap into a new market.
Okay.
Leverage that existing user base.
So they're casting a wide net.
They are.
Yeah.
They're going after a lot of different segments.
That makes sense.
Trying to get as many users on board as possible.
So Insurance Rakuten, they're really going for it.
Yeah.
But what about the educational aspect?
Well, that's a good point.
Because it's one thing to provide all these tools.
Right.
But are they equipping users with the knowledge?
Yeah. Do they...
to make informed decisions?
Understand what they're doing.
Yeah. Because
you can have the best tools in the world, but...
right. If you
don't know how to use them...
yeah, if you don't know what you're doing...
It's not going to do you much good.
It can be dangerous.
It can be, yeah.
Okay. So are they doing anything in terms of education?
So it seems like they've at least thought about that.
Okay.
They have this service called Wealth Guide.
Oh, Wealth Guide. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the name.
It's pretty catchy.
Yeah.
And it provides practical financial advice through a variety of channels.
Oh, like what?
So they have articles, they have case studies, they have like tips and tricks.
Okay.
It's kind of like having a financial coach
Right in your pocket?
right there on your phone.
Okay, that's it.
So it's not super in-depth,
Yeah.
but it's a good starting point.
Okay. So they're providing some basic financial literacy
Yeah, they're trying
to
to
empower users
to make informed decisions.
Yeah. I feel like that's something that's often overlooked.
It is. It is.
Okay. So they're doing that.
Yeah.
Good.
So they're not just throwing you into the deep end.
Okay, good.
They're giving you some floaties.
All right. So we've talked about their platform.
Yeah.
We've talked about their partnerships, their educational stuff.
Uh-huh.
Let's step back for a moment
Right.
and look at the broader picture.
The big picture.
Yeah. Like what's the current state
Okay.
of the Japanese household financial asset landscape?
All right, so that's where it gets interesting because
Yeah.
there's a very high concentration of assets held in bank deposits here.
Oh, in Japan, you mean?
Yeah, in Japan.
Okay.
And typically those offer very low return.
Right. You're not going to get rich.
You're not going to get rich quick
Leaving your money in a
or even slow.
Japanese bank account.
No.
Yeah.
So that suggests a huge potential
Okay.
for shifting those assets towards investments.
Okay, I see. So there's all this money
Sitting there,
just sitting there,
doing nothing,
not really growing.
earning next to nothing.
And WealthNavi is like,
Hey,
come to us.
we can help you. We can put that money to work.
Yeah, put that money to work. Okay, so they're targeting.
That's their target market.
Okay.
The untapped potential
Of those
of those
within the working families segment.
Japanese bank account holders.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and how much money are we talking about here?
Trillions of yen.
Billions.
It's a massive
Wow.
amount of potential investment capital
Okay.
that's just sitting there waiting to be
Right.
activated.
Okay, so they're strategically positioned to
Yeah, they're in the right place.
capitalize on this.
At the right time.
Yeah.
With the right product.
Right. Okay. And they're actually already capturing
They're already seeing
a significant portion.
significant growth
Yeah.
in assets under management among robo-advisors in Japan.
So they're not just talking the talk.
They're walking the walk.
They're actually getting the money.
They're attracting investors.
Okay.
They're growing their market share.
And how does their market share compare to like the traditional?
So that's the interesting thing.
They're really differentiating themselves from those traditional managed account services
Okay.
that typically cater to high net worth individuals.
Oh, okay. So they're not going after the
They're not going after the super rich.
clients,
Yeah, they're focused on the
No, no,
mass market,
the working families.
the everyday investor.
Okay, so they're democratizing investing,
That's their mission.
making it accessible
Everyone,
for everyone.
not just the elite.
Okay, but how does this actually translate into real results?
All right, so let's talk about the data
Okay.
because they've actually shared some really interesting data points in these documents.
Okay, let's hear it.
So first of all, the average investment goal for WealthNavi users
Okay.
is quite substantial.
Oh, really? So people are trusting them with a lot of money.
Yeah, it indicates a high level of trust in the platform.
Interesting.
And then second, the longer users stay invested,
Okay.
the higher and more stable their returns become.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it really reinforces that long-term diversified approach.
It's not about getting rich quick.
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
It's
about-
about
Steadily building wealth
building wealth over time.
over time,
Yeah.
and that's the way to do it.
Okay, so people are staying invested. They're
Yeah.
seeing good returns.
They're sticking with it.
What about their ability to navigate market fluctuations?
That's a good question.
Because we've seen some volatile periods recently.
We have, and
Yeah.
remember that impressive user retention rate?
Oh, yeah, 93%.
93%, even during the COVID-19 market crash.
Mhm.
That suggests that users are trusting WealthNavis
Okay.
to guide them through those challenging times.
So they're not just bailing when the market dips.
No, they're staying the course.
Okay.
They're trusting the process.
Which can be hard
It is hard,
to do.
especially when you see your portfolio value going down.
Right, exactly.
It's natural to want to panic,
Yeah, and sell everything.
but they're not doing that.
Okay.
And I think that speaks volumes about.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think their focus on communication
Okay.
and transparency is probably a big factor.
Yeah.
people are more likely to stay the course.
If they understand what's happening.
If they understand what's happening
Yeah.
and why.
Yeah.
If you feel like you're in the dark,
Yeah.
you're more likely to freak out.
Right. You just pull out.
But if you understand that, hey, this is a normal part of the cycle,
Yep.
we've got this, we're going to ride this out,
Long-term investing.
then you're more likely to stick with it.
Okay. So they're communicating. Well, they're being transparent.
And they're also not just relying on technology.
Okay.
They have a dedicated support team
Okay.
providing one-on-one assistance.
So if you have questions, you can
call them.
actually talk to a person?
You can email them.
Okay.
You can chat with them.
So you're not just like dealing with a chatbot.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's about combining that efficiency
Right.
of technology with the
Right.
human touch.
Okay.
And their new insurance advisory service is another example of that.
You explain that a little bit more.
So it's not just about offering insurance. It's about helping users understand their needs
Yeah.
and select the right policies.
Okay.
So it's about providing guidance and support,
Not just products?
not just selling you a product.
Right.
It's about understanding your situation and helping you make the best decisions
Okay.
for your financial future.
So how does this all fit into the broader picture
Okay.
of financial advice?
In Japan.
Yeah, in Japan.
Because traditionally,
Right.
financial advice has been a very personalized
Yeah.
and often expensive service.
Right. You got to go to like a private wealth manager or something?
Yeah, typically reserved for high net worth individuals.
Okay.
And WealthNavi is really disrupting that model
Okay. How so?
by making sophisticated financial advice
Okay.
accessible to a wider audience.
Okay.
So they're not the only ones doing this. There are other robo-advisors out there, but they're certainly one of the leaders
Okay.
in this space.
And their partnership with MUFG Bank?
That's a big one
Yeah.
because that further amplifies
Yeah.
this disruption.
Explain that.
So they're leveraging MUFG's vast network
Yeah.
and resources to reach millions
Potential
of potential investors
investors.
who might not have considered professional financial advice before.
Right, because it was too expensive or
Too expensive, too intimidating.
too intimidating.
Yeah.
Or they just didn't even know where to start.
Right.
And now they're getting access to this through their bank,
Their bank.
through their MUFG accounts.
Okay.
It's a bold move.
Yeah.
They're essentially democratizing access
Okay.
to these financial tools and strategies.
It's a bit of a revolution.
It's a bit of a revolution
Yeah.
in the financial services world.
Okay.
And their commitment to innovation keeps them ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it seems like they're always coming up with new features, new services. They're not standing still.
Yeah.
They're constantly evolving.
Okay.
And their alignment with the new NISA program
Right.
is a perfect example of that.
They could have just been like, okay,
Yeah.
here's the new NISA rules.
Figure it out.
Good luck.
Yeah,
But they didn't. They actually like redesigned their platform.
they did. They completely redesigned it
Cool.
to seamlessly integrate
Okay.
with the new system.
So it's
Make it super user-friendly.
super easy to use.
Yeah, you don't even have to think about it.
Okay.
It just takes care of everything for you.
Wow. That's impressive.
And they went even further
Okay.
by lowering their fees for new NISA users.
Right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're really committed to.
They're really trying to make those tax benefits
Yeah.
as accessible as possible.
So they're not just about maximizing their own profits.
No, it seems like they're genuinely invested
Yeah.
in the financial well-being of their clients.
That's refreshing to hear
It is.
because it doesn't always feel like
it doesn't always feel that way.
that's the case
Well,
with financial companies.
sometimes it feels like they're just trying to extract as much money as
Yeah.
possible.
Okay. So they're not doing that. They're actually trying to.
It seems like they're trying to build a community
Okay.
of informed and empowered investors
Okay.
who feel confident.
That's a good goal.
It is.
Okay.
It's a lofty goal.
So their success in the Japanese robo-advisory market.
It's undeniable.
Yeah.
They've captured a significant share of the market,
Okay.
and their growth trajectory is impressive.
What do you attribute this success to?
So I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
You know, we've talked about the user-friendly platform, the
Mhm.
strong performance,
Yeah.
the transparent fee structure,
Ah.
the commitment to customer education.
Yeah.
Those have all contributed to their popularity.
But I
I also
kinda-
think-
their focus on
They're focused on a specific target audience.
working families.
Working families has been key.
Like, really tapped into
Yeah.
the needs and aspirations of that segment. And they're
Right.
providing solutions
That are tailored to their needs.
that are tailored to their specific circumstances.
Okay, so it's not just a one-size-fits-all approach.
No.
Okay, good. They're really trying to understand their target market and
Yeah.
provide what they need.
So they're challenging the traditional model
Financial service.
of financial service,
It often caters
which often caters to
to the wealthy,
the wealthy,
the high net worth individual.
the high net worth
Yeah.
individuals.
Okay.
WealthNavi is making sophisticated investment strategies
Okay.
and personalized guidance accessible to a much broader audience.
So it's like a democratization
Democratization.
of financial service. Okay.
Leveling the playing field, giving everyone
Yeah.
an equal opportunity
To build wealth.
to build wealth.
Okay. And their impact extends
Yeah.
beyond just individual success stories.
Okay.
They're contributing to a broader shift
Okay.
in the Japanese financial landscape.
How so?
They're encouraging individuals
Okay.
to take a more proactive role
Okay.
in managing their finances.
So it's not just about like putting your money
No.
in the bank
Yeah.
and hoping for the best.
It's about taking control
Okay.
of your financial future.
Yeah. And especially in a country like Japan where there's
Yeah, where there's so much
so much money just sitting
money sitting
in bank accounts.
and those low yield
Yeah.
bank deposits.
Yeah.
WealthNavi is presenting
A compelling alternative.
a compelling alternative. They're showing people
Yeah.
that there's a better way
Okay.
to make their money work for them.
So what does all this mean for our listeners?
Big question.
Yeah. What's the key takeaway
Yeah, what's the
from our deep dive
main takeaway?
into WealthNavi?
I think the main takeaway is that WealthNavi is more than just a company.
Okay.
They're a catalyst for change.
Okay.
They're challenging the status quo.
Uh-huh.
They're empowering individuals.
Yeah.
And they're shaping
All right.
the future of investing in Japan.
Interesting.
It's a big claim,
Yeah.
but I think they're living up to it.
It seems like it so far.
So far,
Okay.
they're a company to watch,
Definitely.
not just for their innovative approach
No.
to financial services,
Uh-huh.
but also for their potential
Okay.
to transform the way people think about
Okay.
and manage their money.
So they're not just changing the industry.
No.
They're changing like how people think about their own finances.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
It's an inspiring story
It is.
and one that holds valuable lessons
yeah.
for anyone looking to navigate this increasingly complex world of
Wow.
personal finance.
Yeah, it's not getting any easier.
It's not getting any easier, that's for sure.
Okay, so they're making it easier.
They're trying to
Yeah.
at least make it a little bit easier,
Yeah.
demystify it a bit.
Good.
So their success is a testament to their vision,
Uh-huh.
their execution,
Yeah.
and their unwavering commitment to
Okay.
their users.
Okay, so they're not just
They're not just in it
all about the money.
for the money.
They're in it.
They actually care about their users.
Teacher.
They care about their mission.
Okay.
And that's, I think, what's driving their success.
Right, so they're doing great things.
But with all this rapid growth
Yeah, they're growing really fast.
and expansion,
Yeah.
are there any potential challenges?
Right, because there's
Because
always
there's always a flip side.
another side to this story.
Right.
Okay, so what are some potential challenges?
So one potential challenge is maintaining
Okay.
that high level of customer satisfaction
Right, because it's easy
as they scale.
to keep people happy when you're small.
When you're small,
But when you get big,
yeah,
it's harder to,
it's harder to provide that personalized support
yeah.
and ensure that everyone feels valued.
Right, okay, so that's one challenge.
It's one challenge.
Okay, what else?
And as they expand their services
Right.
beyond robo-advising,
Yeah, they're getting into insurance now.
they're getting into
They're
insurance.
partnering with Rakuten.
Right.
They're doing all this stuff.
They're going to need to make sure
Yeah.
that they have the expertise and the resources
To actually
Linkage.
effectively manage
to manage all these different things.
all these new offerings.
Right. Okay. So they got,
So the insurance advisory service is a good first step.
yeah.
But they're going to need to carefully consider
Yeah.
how they integrate future services
Right.
without compromising
Yeah.
their core values of simplicity and transparency,
Right. Because that's
because that's what got them here.
what's made them successful.
Right.
So they don't want to lose that.
They don't want to get too complex,
Okay.
too convoluted, too
Yeah.
bureaucratic.
They want to keep it simple and straightforward.
Okay, so that's another challenge.
That's another challenge.
Okay, what else?
And another potential concern
Okay.
is the reliance on technology.
Okay.
Because while automation
Yeah,
can be incredibly efficient,
it can.
it also raises questions
Yeah,
about the role of human judgment
right.
and intuition
Okay.
in financial decision-making.
Yeah, because sometimes you need a human
Sometimes you need that human touch
to look at your situation.
and that ability to consider individual circumstances
Give you
and provide
tailored advice.
tailored guidance. So
Right.
it's a delicate balance
Yeah.
between leveraging technology and maintaining
With
that
the
human element.
Right.
And I think WealthNavi is aware of that.
Yeah.
They're trying to find that right balance.
Okay.
But it's something to watch
Yeah.
as they continue to grow.
Okay. So they got to be careful not to get too
Too automated.
auto
Too robotic.
right, and lose that.
Lose that human touch, that personal touch.
Good point. Okay, so those are some
Those
of
are
the
some of the potential
concerns.
challenges and concerns.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like they're walking this tightrope,
Yeah.
trying to harness the powers of technology,
Right.
but also not lose that human element.
It's a tough balance.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing a pretty good job so far.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's shift back
Okay.
to their commitment to financial education.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Wealth Guide service earlier.
Yeah.
How effective do you think that is?
I think it's a really valuable resource,
Okay.
especially for people who are new to investing.
Okay.
Or maybe they just need a refresher
Yeah.
on some of the key concepts.
Yeah, just the basics.
Yeah, the basics.
Okay.
And they do a good job of providing
Yeah.
clear, concise explanations,
Yeah.
practical tips.
Okay.
So they're really trying to demystify.
The world of finance.
Yeah, take away some of that intimidation.
Yeah, because I think a lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
feel like investing is,
It's too complicated.
Yeah.
It's too risky.
Yeah.
It's not for them.
Yeah.
And WealthNavi is saying,
no.
anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it
Yeah.
with the right guidance
Right.
and a long-term perspective.
Okay.
You can build a solid financial foundation.
So they're breaking down those barriers.
Yeah, they're trying to make it
Yeah.
more accessible,
More approachable.
more approachable,
Yeah. Yeah.
less scary.
Okay. So their success in the Japanese robo-advisory market.
It's undeniable.
Yeah.
They've really made a mark.
They've captured a significant share.
Yeah.
And they're growing rapidly.
Yeah, their growth trajectory is impressive.
What do you attribute that to?
So I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
We've talked about a lot of them already.
Right.
The user-friendly platform,
Yeah.
the strong performance,
Uh,
the transparent fees.
the commitment to customer education.
Yep, all of that.
Yeah.
But I also think their focus on a specific target audience,
The working families.
the working families,
Yeah.
has been really key to their success.
Okay. How so?
They've really tapped into the needs
Yeah.
and aspirations of that segment,
Okay.
and they're providing solutions
Yeah.
that are tailored to their specific circumstances.
Okay. So it's not just a generic.
No, it's really targeted
Uh.
to that specific demographic.
So they're challenging the traditional model
Yeah.
of financial services.
Yeah, they're shaking things up,
Yeah.
which often caters to the wealthy.
Right. The high net worth individual.
The elite wealth nover
Yeah.
is saying, no,
Yeah.
financial services should be for everyone.
Okay.
So they're making sophisticated investment strategies
right.
and personalized guidance
Uh-huh.
accessible to a much broader audience.
Okay. So it's a democratization
Yeah,
of financial services.
exactly.
Leveling the playing field.
Leveling the playing field
Giving everyone an equal opportunity. That's the goal.
to build wealth.
Yep.
That's great.
And their impact goes beyond just individual success stories.
Okay.
They're actually contributing to a broader shift
Okay.
in the Japanese financial landscape.
How so?
They're encouraging individuals to take a more proactive role
Okay.
in managing their finances.
So it's not just about like
Right.
putting your money in the bank and
Hoping for the best.
yeah,
It's about taking control
right.
of your financial future.
And especially in a country like Japan
Yeah.
where there's so much money
Yeah. Trillions of yen
just sitting in bank accounts.
sitting there earning next to nothing.
Yeah, WealthNavi is like, hey,
There's a better way.
there's a better way.
Put your money to work.
Put your money to work.
Let it grow.
Yeah.
Don't just let it sit there.
So they're presenting a compelling alternative
They are.
to the
To
traditional.
the status quo
Yeah.
of just putting your money in the bank.
So what does all this mean for our listeners?
Big question.
Yeah. What's the key takeaway from our deep dive?
I think the key takeaway is that WealthNavi is more than just a company. They're a force for change.
Oh,
They're challenging the status quo.
Uh-huh.
They're empowering individuals.
Yeah.
And they're shaping the future of investing in Japan.
That's a pretty bold statement,
It is.
but it seems like they're backing it up.
I think they are.
Yeah, they're walking the walk.
Yeah.
They're not just talking the talk.
Actions speak louder than words.
Exactly.
And they're taking action.
So what's next for WealthNavi?
It's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, what's the future hold?
I think they're going to continue to grow. They're going to
Right.
continue to innovate,
Uh-huh.
and they're going to continue to challenge the status quo.
Okay.
They're not going to rest on their laurels.
So they're a company to watch.
Definitely a company to watch.
Not just here in Japan, but
But globally.
globally.
Because I think what they're doing
Yeah.
has implications for the entire financial services industry.
Okay, so they're setting a new standard
They're raising the bar.
for what it means to be a financial services company.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
it is.
All right, so any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just that I think WealthNavi is a really inspiring company,
Okay.
and they're showing that you can do well
Yeah.
by doing good.
Okay.
They're putting their users first,
Huh?
they're committed to their mission,
Yeah.
and they're making a positive impact on the world.
I like that.
So I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
It's been fascinating learning about WealthNavi today.
it has.
Thanks for joining us and sharing your expertise.
My pleasure.
And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
See you next time.